days ago, 20 players were abandoned in the woods of central Massachusetts, and only 5 remain. Andy, whose strategy is centered on building and maintaining relationships, will those bonds carry him to the end?
I don't want Season 2 of Outlast to be told without involving me and the people I am with.
Hannah. Her decision to flip at the merge, along with her strong bond with Rachel, has solidified her position. But can she secure a final tribal seat?
I feel good, but also totally overwhelmed, and like I may be playing things way too fast and loose. Like I've already flip-flopped twice and not gotten in trouble for it.
Peter, whose likability along with a pre-merge winning streak got him far, but he has made some bold moves post-merge that has him in the hot seat. Can he overcome them?
What you should be really worried about since we went 2-4 because we came into this as a 6.
Rachel, a force within the game, driving votes, finding idols, and navigating alliances and friendships very well. But is her threat level getting too high?
Damn it!
Stephanie, her direct and outspoken approach hasn't hurt her game, but with the final tribal council looming, will her personality and perseverance make her too hard to sit next to?
Yeah, slow your freaking roll.
It all plays out now in the Season 2 finale of Outlast.
Is this...
Made it to the spot that we expected, what the people expected.
Yeah, exactly.
So I got here by some luck and a reliance on the Wet 2 Alliance that has inexplicably kept me here.
Welcome, Final 5. Who knew? You all knew. You all knew. All right, Peter, I'm going to take back immunity. If you want it, you just got to get it again. That's all, buddy. This challenge is called Stack 'em Up. Here's how it's going to work. You're going to put this in one of your hands. Your first block is going to be this cube. You're going to put it here. Then I'm going to, at intervals of time, give you another block by shape and color that you have to put on top of this one. You stack any way you want. We'll add more blocks as we go. You can't touch the bottom, anything else with the other hand. One hand only, so pick whichever hand you want. When you're placing a block, you can only touch that block. You can't touch any other block. Just the one block you're putting on is the one you can touch. All right, everybody grab your pedestal and put the first square on. Yep, that square, yep. That one goes on. All right, now everything has to go that square and up. All right. First one is the blue square. Starting now, yep.
This one?
Blue square, yep. Sorry.
This is also...
I'm gonna call that one the blue tie. Sorry. Square. Make it easy on ourselves. Everybody looking good. Next one is gonna be your red rectangle. But I will. All right, now you're gonna add your green rectangle. Everybody good? Now you're gonna add your blue tile. Definitely drop. Back in the table, please. Everybody good? Andy release. Perfect. Now you're gonna add a yellow disc. Yellow disc. Now you're gonna add the blue disc. good. Now you're gonna add a blue cube. Or square. And you drop it. Down to 3. Next, you're gonna add your orange rectangle. Yeah. Rachel dropped. Peter has his plate. Anna has her plate. Down to the last 2. Next, you're gonna add. Hannah wins immunity. Hannah, come on over.
Thank you. Good job.
It was
Peter.
so slippery.
I have to say you're
Congratulations, Hannah. Hannah, vote for Hannah. Congratulations, Hannah. All right, you are going to head back to camp for some time.
I'm so happy and relieved because I was like, I don't know, this is, if there's a time to win it, like for me that was like
And
right
Maya,
now.
guys,
It's a fake. It's a fake. I put it there a while ago.
Oh, Jesus, Andy. Wow. How did I not spot it? When did you put that there?
It's a fake. I put it there a long time.
And nobody found it?
I just didn't want it to complicate anything.
I got to the final 5 by surrounding myself with loyal, trustworthy, calm people. That was the key there because I'm not calm.
You want to start spoken off?
Hannah, can I start with you?
Sure.
Okay. Is that okay?
Yeah, no, that's fine. I mean, we're all
Yeah,
going to talk
let's
to
all
everybody.
break off,
So
yeah.
let's just do it systematically.
And I was desperately afraid that Peter was going to win another immunity, and Hannah pulled it out. We have the 4 that we've been talking about ever since Chelsea left, because Chelsea was supposed to be a part of the 4. That was the 4 that we went out on the food reward for. Once Chelsea fell, we wanted Rachel to feel like she had a person who was close to her, and Hannah was that person, and we really like her. She's fantastic and awesome, and she pulled through today huge.
I feel amazing that I won immunity, and I feel like I won it not necessarily actually when I needed it. I think I was safe either way, but I think because I have this, I can actually do a better plan for myself.
I really don't give a shit.
Okay.
Okay, we know what we're doing. It's gonna be Peter, right? Because this is a loyalty thing. Blah, blah, blah. We're not gonna get crazy. Yeah. That's it. Who are you gonna tell Peter you're voting for? Me or Andy? What is the story gonna be?
I mean, I literally have continuously gone after Andy.
Okay,
So I mean, that makes sense.
I don't know what you want to do.
I think he's more dangerous than Steph, but I mean, you're the one in trouble, so that's where you want to go.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. Do you think Hannah will do it?
Yeah, I think so.
Here's the only complicated thing, though.
Oh no, you're gonna complicate something.
No, I'm saying he's gonna propose this to me because I have that thing. So he's gonna say to me, "You all vote for me," and then I use it to nullify all those votes.
Yeah.
Then you
Just
have to
say-
vote for other people.
But don't do it.
Yeah.
I had to make a really difficult vote on the last one to send out my good friend Maya, and that killed me. And I did that for Rachel and Hannah's game, and I'm just hoping now it's a fair fight between me, Andy, Rachel, and Hannah for the end. I just wonder how long we have.
Yeah,
the shorter we have, the better on this one.
Yeah.
Because he's freaking nuts.
Yeah. No.
Listen, we stick with the plan. We did it last time. We're going to do it again this time. Rachel's a big threat. I think she has a really good chance of winning the game. So, but I also respect the hell out of her, and she's a really good player. So, like, she actually deserves to be sitting up there. So I guess it's up to the people to decide. I just hope I'm one of the people that get to plead my case. What if you're going to write me down? You've already done it to me before.
I don't believe you. Protect myself like 5 times.
No, I know. And then we have to go after each other.
Originally, I was gonna do the 2-2 split of 2 yellow, 2 blue, and then we would fight it out. But now I'm hoping that I can save Peter, and then I can have a better chance getting into the final 3.
So, I specifically wanted to see Hannah go at this final 5 vote, but weirdly, I think I trust Hannah the most right now.
The option is we just all say we're voting for you. I use the feel really mixed. I mean, my perfect end game is either me next to Peter or me next to Rachel. Rachel has been my ride or die pretty much since the beginning, definitely since the merge. So I would love to be there in the end with her. However, I'm concerned that I wouldn't win against her. Like, I think it appears like she's calling all the shots. She's found all these idols and advantages, and I think people might just see me as like a super emotional player that has just been like dragged along with her.
Now thinking that it's better with Peter because he's been such a hot mess.
And I think I have more of a chance to win against him, but I also like, don't want to backstab Rachel like that. So I feel really conflicted.
Of course.
It's all good, right?
Yeah.
There's nothing complicated here.
Nothing.
That's always too good to be true.
By voting out Maya, you know, we sort of put ourselves in their hands where it seemed like they'd be willing to take out Peter right now. But because they feel like they can beat Peter in a jury vote, they want to keep him around.
You not fucking with us? Okay. Promise? I'll fucking kill you if you are. I will like literally come find you and kill you.
I will be prepared.
Do it.
But honestly, even if it doesn't work out, like obviously I'm safe. So I'm willing to risk it and just have people be mad at me.
And the cold look that I got from Hannah was like, okay, that's a gear I underestimated, and that bothers me.
Yeah, I mean, I obviously have a better chance if he's there. Like, I feel like neither of them are gonna take me. And, like, I would assume, like, you would let me take, or like, at least with him, like, I feel like he might take either of us. But I don't think either of them would ever take me. They would take each other or you over me. So, like, that's better for me.
It is not a real idol. Yes, not a real idol.
But I think Andy found an idol, and I don't want to idol myself out of the game.
No, I watched him pull it up and have it.
No, I just
Did
saw
you see
him
him
pull it up, and it was just the package. I didn't see anything inside.
Yeah, ask to see it.
Okay.
Just ask to see it.
Unless we 2-2-1, but I don't. If I propose that, I think I will end up the target. Can we talk for a quick sec? Oh, yeah. What? Can we talk for a quick sec? Yeah. But you know, I think I mean, as much as I would love to stay wet too strong for this vote, Hannah won immunity, and I think that means that I have to vote out either. That means I have to vote out either Stephanie or Andy, and because Rachel has an idol, so she's safe, and that's really a tough decision because both of them are very, very valuable to me.
It's the thing one we made. It's in my bag, but hold on, just wait here.
And we're also thinking about a possible fire making challenge for the people that, you know, don't get picked or win immunity or whatever. Well, there was Final Four fire making last year because there was a tie before.
Oh, gotcha.
It's 2-2, so.
I know nothing and I read nothing. I go with the punches. I didn't even look up the weather for this weekend. That's just who I am.
Yesterday was a surprise.
Yeah.
And both of them are better at fire than me or Rachel, so that sucks.
Andy and Steph are also very good at fire.
Oh, yeah, I suck.
It sucks.
Yeah, no,
And I suck and you suck. So,
I mean,
Not loud.
And then last night, you know, I woke up in the middle of the night shivering to death, and because our fire had gone out, and everyone else was, you know, huddled together or in sleeping bags or stuff, and I was just on a sleeping pad, and I was freezing my butt off, and I had to, you know, find the flashlight in the dark, make a fire, get it going, all by myself because everyone was asleep. And I tended to that all night long, and it's been along from being cold to that fire making and kind of like, I don't know, feeling myself get stronger, and then just my mess ups this morning that really took me out of it.
I'm not trying to back you into a, hey, promise me.
No.
But
I haven't thought about weighing that too much.
Yeah.
'Cause
yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens when it happens. But obviously, I'd love to sit at the end and we all pitch our cases.
I mean, the other option is if we're doing like a big move and crazy, what I'm saying is we all just say yes, we're fine for him. I use that to my advantage. I think that when we do the whole charade, I could just, you know, I think it's better for you. I think it's better for you if we don't do the whole charade, because then that's like a flashy thing for me. If you're willing to vote. Yeah. Let's do it.
obviously on rocky ground. Obviously I'm stressed. Obviously I don't know what to expect. But I feel actually really content with this in a way that, you know, maybe 2 votes ago I would have felt like hot garbage. Yeah, Stephanie, you know, we've had contention, but it would be awesome to sit the final 3 with her. I think just like
What did Rachel say?
she wants to do Andy.
Okay, she's done. She's done. Yeah.
Yeah, she wants to do Andy.
Yeah, it makes sense. 1 for 1, buddy. Ha ha ha. No, you broke the trust. You can't unbreak trust. So that's why my vote's going on Peter.
Who knew that Taylor Swift was so important to this game?
I am so glad she is. I'm so glad she is. My friends are gonna be pumped.
I don't do powerless well. Like, I want Steph at the end with me. I want Chelsea back in the game and with me at the end, and I'm not gonna get it.
How many times I gotta tell you? Why do you just pull her into the woods to talk alone? Because we always talk at the end. Okay. Great. You wanna pull in the woods with me?
No, I don't.
Am I jealous? What?
Yeah.
Yeah. Listen,
You're getting too close to Hannah.
I thought.
I said that to her.
Well, I thought she was my wife.
No, I took her over when she left you. Came to me.
Yeah, you're the mistress, not the wife.
No.
I was about to say, like,
That is such a lie. I do that.
no doing this long walk without.
No, I can't. I can feel my heart pounding.
My thing is, like, at this point, it's like, it is what it is. I feel like, you know,
My heart has
if it's
done
me,
enough
guys.
damage here. Like, the stress has now like started radiating out.
They're
Like,
taking
this
me
is a
out.
new spot for
They're
you to
taking me
feel.
out. They're taking me out. I can feel it right now. They're gonna take me out on this boat. That's what's happening right now. They're gonna take me out right now. They are. They are. It's me right now.
Why?
I don't know. I'm sketched out.
Welcome, Final 5. All right. We are getting down to it. Pretty exciting. Hannah, congrats on a big win. You were so excited. Tell me what that feeling is like for you.
Well, the immediate feeling was I started screaming and like let out a sound that I wasn't expecting, but it feels amazing. Because even though I feel good with the people I've talked to, like you just never know with this few people, so I'd rather just have the security.
So I believe, if I have my memory correct, Andy's one immunity, Stephanie's one immunity, Hannah's one immunity, Peter's one immunity. Rachel?
2 idols.
2 idols, though. What do you think, Rachel? My question, I think, to you is, does that make you less of a threat? Is that a way to help lower your threat level if you're not winning challenges, or do you think that that doesn't really matter right now?
I think everyone has a different motive of why they want to get to the end and who they want to be there with. We also hate watching the 3 goats go to the end, and we don't want that in our game. So there's a little different motives going into a live game like this. It's just kind of figuring out who has the motives that align with being there with me.
Peter, I brought up the topic of jury management last Tribal. That's the first time we really talked about it. Jury's getting bigger and bigger. Is it coming up more? Is the idea of the jury coming more into play as each round goes by?
I think everyone's thinking about it. You know, the what a jury is looking for and what the makeup of the jury is. Obviously, there's a lot of original Nebby over there at the moment. Is definitely like going through people's minds and what sort of things they're looking for from a player. Like, did you make big strategic moves? Were you like a good social player? Were you a physical threat? How did you make people feel when they were down? All that sort of stuff. I don't know. What their perceptions are and how much they read into that and what they're looking for necessarily from the second Outlast champion. But it's definitely something that I think everyone is thinking about as they come up with like a potential pitch and a group that'll sit at a final tribal council.
Andy, from you, there's been a lot of activity, some idols, legacy advantage, a couple things like that out there. I'll ask a similar question that I asked to Rachel. Do you think that those types of things are making you more of a target, less of a target, because they were not necessarily played at a critical time for you to be safe? Like, is that good for your game? Is that a way to kind of say, like, hey,
I have no idea what I'm doing.
not necessarily that, but I think it's different when you save yourself with idols and you kind of are making those things that might stand out more, where maybe that isn't the same for you.
Yeah, it's been an interesting game in that I've had a lot of attention, whether it's going on journeys or getting voted to be saved by the other tribe, to showing up with finding some idols, having an advantage. I think it perhaps lowers the temperature that I did not play them correctly. But in the end, and I know I keep beating the same drum, it's a people game. Those idols and advantages help you here and there. But what gets you deeper into the game are people who have your back and you have their back, and people sticking to their word. It's a really hard game, if not impossible, to navigate alone. And so, in the end, the downside of a people game is that there are going to be people on the jury that I help put there. And those people may not like me should I have a seat at Final Tribal. But before we even get there, what do these people want to do now that we're at the end game? It's all well and good to say loyal and let's do this together, but the group that's doing it together keeps getting smaller, and at some point people have to make the hardest decisions of all.
Stephanie, there's some interesting makeups here, right? We've got actually 4 Wetu, right? With one lone Nebby who is safe, right? So if that was even coming into play, you can't vote out Hannah at this point. We have, outside of that, we've got 2 Poda and 2 original Nebbys. So are any of those things coming into play, or is this brand new game? We're thinking end game. Those things don't matter. It's who I want to go to the end with.
No, I think that the original tribal lines have blurred like a long time ago. I've made different kinds of relationships with each of these people at different stages along the way, at different capacities. My journey with Andy has been wild. We can talk about that later. And after just meeting Hannah, I have some new friendships, and it's just about how we connect, not where we started.
Is there anything anybody else wants to talk about before we get to a vote? All right, just a reminder, this is the last tribal council where an idol can be played, and I think any advantages. With that, Andy, it's time to vote.
I won't vote for her. I won't do it. Or they could flip it around on me. But, so I'm going to throw this on Peter, but something very devastating is about to happen. Just for protection in case Andy actually does have an idol. And I hope I get to clarify that with you and I don't move myself out of the game.
I
really wanted to bring you the Final Four, and this is not what I wanted to do, but I owed one to Hannah. Sorry.
I still love you. I think you're awesome. But this is the end for you. Hopefully. Hopefully not me.
All right, once votes read, the person will be asked to leave the tribal council area immediately. If anybody has a hidden immunity idol or an advantage that I play, now is the last time to do so. All right. I can confirm this is a hidden immunity idol. Any votes cast for Rachel will not count. Anything else? All right. I'll read the votes. First vote, Peter. Next vote, Stephanie. Next vote, Stephanie. One vote Peter, 2 votes Stephanie. Next vote, Peter. 2 votes Peter, 2 votes Stephanie, 1 vote left. The next member of our jury, Stephanie.
Thanks, guys. That was fun.
Stephanie, your tribe has spoken.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, final 4. Congratulations. You are going to head out to the challenge field for our final 4 immunity challenge. It is a doozy. Get ready for it. Make sure you hydrate.
Drink water.
Lots of water. And we'll see you out of the challenge field.
I'm pissed. I'm so pissed right now. I could kill Rachel. I'm really, really, really mad at Rachel. And I know I did the same thing to Maya. But I just thought me and Rachel had a better connection than that in terms of strategy. So, yep, she played me. I knew it was coming. Camp felt weird. The walk here felt weird. I turned around to Andy on the path up here and I said, it's me. I said, oh my God, it's me. And he said, why? And I said, all of a sudden, I know it's fucking me. If anybody in the game right now is smart, they would cut her out of it right now. Other than that, I had an amazing game. I made it to the final 5? Final 5, competed in individual immunities, won an individual immunity. I think, is this when people cry? This is when people cry. Mm-hmm. This is what Andy, okay, it's so funny because this is what Andy talked about. And Andy said, when you come to play these games, like, there's gonna be, like, some piece in you that's, like, driving you to do this. Because, like, who in their right freaking mind would do this? This is crazy. And I said to Andy, I was like, dude, I don't think I have a piece. Like, I don't know why I come and play here. I don't know why I come and do this, but I guess I can't believe I'm crying. And like, I hate sports and I hate camping and I hate bugs and I hate germs. I hate like everything about this game, but I just friggin' did it for 3 days. And I'm really proud of myself. So yeah.
Steph she's got a good game. And she didn't betray the entire bench of the jury. And she's good at fire. So she already said she's gonna kill me. So we'll see what happens after the game. Like thinking about it, I think that's...
You want to go after Stephanie?
That's a better option.
Oh, that's real?
It wasn't initially, but now...
Stephanie leading this game, I adore her. I've had so much fun playing with her that seeing this go down, I know the game asks really hard things, but this might be too much. No, I stand by it. I owed you one. And like, I wanted to be with my people, and I wanted them to want to take me to the end, and now it seems like I'm their last obstacle. And that reversal of fortunes, I should have anticipated it better.
It was just that last trivia last year.
I don't know either.
Yeah, I don't know either.
I don't know any kind of trivia.
There was like an option, like if you didn't know, you could run longer to just get like a, so you could.
I'm not doing that.
Well,
Run longer? No.
This is running and trivia. I am out.
So the final 5 Steph vote was actually really scary for me because I was under the impression that we were all gonna actually vote out Andy, and I switched my vote last second to Steph because I thought that Andy was gonna play an idol. I threw it out because I was worried that there's gonna be an idol, that he was gonna play an idol.
Oh my god.
Because we had, the last thing we had said was Andy, because we had confirmed that we didn't.
That wasn't. We weren't. The last thing we said was in front of Stephanie. I'm not gonna say.
No, not Andy.
Oh, but
Stephanie.
that was the original thing that you finished. So okay, I was confused. I'm sorry.
Oh Lord.
Well, it worked out.
Lucky duck.
And I'm glad I did that because I definitely would have voted myself out because we would have had a 2-2 tie between me and Steph. And Rachel told me that she was gonna flip because why the hell would I do that to myself? And she's freaking right. So I messed that up big time. I literally misread that whole entire vote.
Really?
Yes.
I was like, I knew that that you would have been like, nope, never mind.
I wanted to vote Andy, and I think Andy is, if Andy's in the final 3, he has all the poet people locked up for sure, and you know, probably can convince some Nebby as well. Oops.
Everybody's got sort of 3s within 4s, but if you have to go to 2, who are you sitting next to? And I think I have a lot of work to convince people that I should be the one sitting next to them.
Welcome, Final 4. Very exciting. This challenge might look a little familiar as a take on last year's challenge, but for 4 of you as opposed to 3 of you. And I'll take that back. Oh, your hand. Got you. Okay, there you go. Sorry if I got you though. Immunity is back up for grabs. And here's how it's going to work. There are 5 stations spread out across the field. You're going to complete a station one at a time. At the end of the station will be a question about something that's happened in the game. You have to deliver your answer verbally to our spotters who are out there. If you're right, you can take your color block, bring it back to the table. Then you go to the next station, do the same thing. 5 questions, 5 blocks. Bring all your blocks back here. Once you have all 5 blocks, you're going to stack those blocks to form kind of an unscrambled word puzzle. All right? That's as much as you're going to get on that. Final 4, you got to earn it, you got to figure it out. You're going to stack those blocks to unscramble the letters to create a phrase. All right? So our first station here is the balance beams. You got to cross both balance beams. Then you'll answer the question. If you drop off the second balance beam, you got to go back to the start of the first balance beam. So you got to get across both successfully. Second station is the crawl under. You got to crawl under those pallets. All right? Third station is the beanbag toss. You got to toss a beanbag onto the spool. You get 3 tosses. If you don't do it, that's considered a fail. You got to move on. Fourth station is the grappling hook. Again, you'll get 3 tosses to get the bag. You got to bring the bag across the line. If you don't do it in those 3 tosses, it's considered a fail. All right? And you got to go over these sawhorses. If you knock one over in any way, it's considered a fail. And you got to go elsewhere. So if you fail at any station, you have to go to another station. Can't try that one again. Or if it's your last station, you got to come touch your table. Yeah, you have to complete all 5 because there's 1 block at each station. If there are any questions where like, I will never know this answer and I'm going to die, way down the path, at the far end, right at the entrance to turn up to the farmhouse, there's a bucket of rocks. You can run up there, collect a rock, bring it back, hand it to the spotter, and in exchange for your block. Final 4. for the final four immunity challenge. Players ready? Go! Andy, on the sawhorses.
Who were the first two players to draw bucks when tribes swapped from 2 tribes to 3?
Meg and Kira, come on up. You're gonna both reach into the bag. We're both gonna pull out an item at the same time. Yes.
Same time.
Oh.
You are staying. You are staying Nebby. You are staying Coda.
No idea.
Peter doing the crawl through. Andy lands one.
And a water drop and what? Puck.
What was the first item you needed to find?
Hannah threw her balance
Just
beam
don't be
obstacle.
last.
Alright, we're looking for the ping pong ball. First 10 back with it. Stay in the challenge. Players ready.
The first item. Ping pong ball.
Correct.
Andy gets his first slot.
Correct.
How old did the first juror say they were in their introductions at the start of the game?
Hi, I'm Jeff from Boston. I'm 29 and I work in software engineering.
And he is 27?
Struggling with the question.
Incorrect.
Correct.
Rachel gets her first block. Peter coming back with a block. Andy going into the crawl through. Rachel tossing bag. Peter on the bounce beam.
4 images on the tiles in Race to Victory were a torch, wind, a water drop, and what? A tree?
Incorrect.
Oh, fuck.
At the start of the game, I was the first juror saved there in the first round. First juror. 29.
Correct.
Peter's got a second block. And he on the bounce beam. Not quite. Let's leave it there.
I probably don't know the answer. The 4 images on the tiles in Race to Victory were a torch, wind, a water drop, and what? Oh my gosh, this one I should know. A leaf.
Yep.
Finally!
Hannah's got her first block. Rachel gonna try the beanbag. Andy, Hannah, Rachel, I'll have 1. Peter has 2.
Yeah.
23?
Incorrect.
27?
Incorrect.
19.
Incorrect.
Meg and Maya.
Okay, I'm also going for a rock.
I don't remember.
Ping pong ball. Correct.
Peter going for his last block. On to the puzzle. Rachel coming back with her 4th. Hannah coming back with her 3rd. Rachel coming back with her 5th block. Coming down to the puzzle. Andy back with his 5th block. Hannah going for a rock.
Later.
It does, that's true. Hannah gets her 4th block.
Hope this feels fresh.
Fresh Subway, shout out.
Hannah under her last station for her final block. Tough puzzle. That earns you a spot in the final 3. Hannah lands her bag.
What was the first time items you need to find in Just Don't Be Last? Just don't be last. Oh, a ping pong ball of any color.
Correct.
Oh my god. Thank you, thank you.
Hannah gets her last block. We're all on the puzzle now. Hannah, this would be a big comeback.
First earns final 3.
Correct, Hannah wins immunity.
That was wild. I was not
Oh my god.
Congratulations, Hannah. You have a spot in the final 3. You're all gonna head back to camp for some time to strategize before we head to tribal council. Good luck.
I'm holding back. I was gonna be like so bad that you like.
Yeah, I thought it was like where we parked.
What was the like this one, the
going
fire
back.
one? That
It was Leaf.
oh.
Yeah. That was a lot harder than it looked. The climb. Because looked and I was like, oh yeah, I should have crawled under it. And then moving. Yeah, so I think I really needed it from like a resume perspective. And I was really upset because I got to the puzzle so much earlier and I just could not figure it out.
Frustrated with myself about the puzzle because that would have been the only easy path to the final 3. But it's my own fault for not knowing the answers to the questions and having to run for rocks. And then I had the pieces of the puzzle. I had the words at various points, but just couldn't put all the pieces together.
I was like, I was not expecting. I was like, I'm just not gonna give up. It looks like bad to give up, so I'm just gonna keep going. Even though I felt so embarrassed.
Oh, no,
and every time I
I was
tossed it, I was like, I'll be back. So as you can see, I won Final Four immunity.
That went well, I guess. I feel like I set myself up where if anyone won, I thought I was the person they'd bring, except for Peter. So I'm glad that Peter didn't win. And now that it's in Hannah's hands, I think she's gonna take me.
I honestly felt mostly safe, but I knew that if Andy won, he would not take me. And I believed that Rachel would take me, but and Peter was a toss-up, so I felt like I was probably in an okay position depending on who won, but it feels wonderful just to have like my fate in my own hands.
One thing that I meant to say at the challenge I did not, which may impact, past votes no longer break ties at Final Four. So past votes are no longer of an impact. If there's a 2-2 tie, we go to a revote. If that is deadlocked, we'll have a conversation. The two people not in the vote, not being voted for, we'll have a conversation. If they can become a unanimous vote, that person will go. If not, we'll go to a tiebreaker.
What's the tiebreaker?
I cannot share that information.
My sense is that both the girls think that we need to take out Andy, which makes me confident. But you never know. I mean, things can swing, and that's scary. But I feel pretty good about this because I think they do see him as a threat.
Seems likely we're in fire. If that's a thing that they're doing. Otherwise, I get voted out and you're in the final two with them.
I think so, but they could also vote me out.
If it's to choose to bring someone, it's you. If I'm voting for someone to go out, I'll vote Andy, but you're welcome to vote either. And if you want to force a tie or something, that's up to you. I'm not going to be upset. If you want to show that you're loyal to Andy through a vote, up to you. I won't hold it against you.
We've been so diplomatic and democratic on all our decisions together that I just want to continue that way and vote. We don't have to vote together, but we want to agree together on what the other person is doing. And at the end of the day, if that burns me and Andy ends up staying and I end up going out, then I made that decision. I'm happy with it because I want to stick with Rachel.
I'm paranoid, frankly.
I mean, at the end of the game, when it's that close, of course.
Yeah.
I mean, I love all these people. I don't want to go cutthroat from here on in. I don't. But I still want one of those final seats. So how do you reconcile those two things?
Like, I'm really happy that I got to meet you.
Right back at you.
I just, hearing your experience with like LRGs and everything was very interesting because I really did not know that this was like a community or a thing at all. And I've had such a great time here.
But I want to keep to my thing of I keep my people when I can, and I'm going to try to keep, Andy, and that'll be a tie, and then we'll revote, and that'll be a tie, and then we'll discuss, and it'll be a tie, and then they'll go to fire, and then Andy will win it. And then we'll see if the jury thinks I'm an idiot. The end.
Well, I think you're better at talking, so do your job.
I certainly will try. My relationship with Rachel is paying dividends. She's giving me the opportunity, if the vote happens and there can be no blowback to them, which it sounds like that's the case, they're agreeing to tie with a 2-2 vote and give us a chance, if it's fire or whatever that final tiebreaker is, to give me a shot at that.
I think Peter would get the least amount of votes of the four of us. So, yeah, I mean, it makes sense to take him to the 3. I understand why Hannah's wants to do that. But I don't really care. I told him that I'd take him to the end if I could, and I can. So I'm going to try to do that.
I'll just be honest with you. I'm closer to him. And I do think that the final 3 of us will be cool. But my whole game has been like being 100% with the people that I'm 100% with.
and that's been him for me.
But if it is fire making, I was on camp with Pete, and he's not very good. Not that I'm great, but I'm better, and I have a chance.
But she didn't commit to him, and she's gonna vote to keep you. And I'm gonna vote to keep him, and it's gonna tie. We're gonna revote, it's gonna tie. We're gonna talk, and it's gonna tie. And then
I'm gonna make fire, and he's gonna end up in there. I mean,
There
just
might
think.
be Flint in the box if you want to talk to him.
I'm just thinking about like my game currently in the game, and I'm just gonna pitch what I did. And if they assume, like for me, assuming it's me and Rachel in the final two, if they want her to represent our season and they see her game as better, then I respect that. But I think that if it's not close at all, I would assume there'd be some bitter jurors, because I think that we both had a hand in a lot of things that happened. We're all like, I don't know, like my first fear was like, I'm gonna be out first. That was like my number one. I don't know if you guys came in the same way or if you felt confident.
Oh, I was like, I'm done. I will not make the bird.
That loyal we game, I've tried to play it. I'm just worried that I didn't do it well enough. I'm going to do whatever I can to win this so that I can represent the Yellow Tribe and the players. That I care about deeply. See if we can win for them.
Congrats, Final Four. Hannah, congrats to you on winning the Final Four challenge. Big comeback win. You were the last person to get to the puzzle, and you made it work. Tell me how that feels, and do you think that changed the course of what was about to happen?
I feel amazing, especially since I struggled so much with the challenge. Like, I saw the other three already starting the puzzle. I was still doing the race, and I honestly was like, I'm not going to win this, but I just don't want to quit for the sake of not quitting. So I was like, I'll just keep going until the end and try my best. So the fact that I actually won is insane to me. After, especially, I've bombed every single puzzle otherwise, but I pulled it out when I actually needed to. And I think it did potentially change the course of the game for me, because I feel good with the person I'm aligned with, but I wouldn't know what the other people would necessarily do. So I feel good feeling safe.
Rachel, she says she feels good about the person she's aligned with. There are 4 of you here, which means she may not be aligned with other folks. So tell me, interpret that for me. What does that mean here? What are we looking at?
I think we're friends, and I think that it's going to be good for me.
All right. Andy, why don't you break it down for me? Give me a little more detail. What's happening here?
They've been aligned since the start. They were apart from one another for a length of the game, but reunited and have been very close throughout, and that supersedes a lot. Those first connections mean a lot, and that leaves Peter and I on the outside looking in, and then it comes down to, depending on how this particular tribal shakes out, Hannah has a lot of power here, and she's pretty much announcing who, if she's taking somebody or is going to, like, they're a block, and so it's down to the two of us. Uncomfortable place to be, but I totally get it. I keep saying it's a relationship game, and theirs is very, very strong.
So Peter, what do you do in that moment when you see, or assume, or that's the perception, is those two are a block? Do you try to join them Does it get you one more round, or do you try to do something different?
It's very complicated. I think, there's a lot of things that would bind the three of us really together. We all started in the same tribe, started the same day. Rachel and I have been on the same tribe for literally the whole game. And we worked really closely for much of it. Not all of it, but much of it. So have Hannah and I. That those are relationships that I value and treasure, and I hope that they do too. And it's ultimately their decision. I think they're pretty tight too. And what will be will be.
All right. Just want you all to complete the sentence for me. I deserve a spot in the final three because. Rachel.
Loyalty.
Andy.
I received one word.
Oh, sorry.
You can answer it however you'd like.
Okay. Relationships, because as he said, we spent a lot of time with them, but we spent a lot of time together, and I certainly spent a lot of time with Rachel, and we talked about a lot. We made certain promises to one another, and I'm hoping in this moment that some of that will come to pass.
I deserve a spot in the final three because I have made many mistakes in this game, and I'm very upfront about them. I'm very honest about them. And I would like a chance to explain myself and my relationships, which I always felt were genuine. And one bad night in the cold rain, paranoia, don't necessarily change those.
Is there anything else anybody wants to say before we get to the vote? Hannah, you can also say if you want to say. You've got a spot in the final three, but if you want to say why you deserve it as well, I'd love to hear that.
I think I worked really hard for it and won immunity.
So you got it. Nice. Excellent. Is there anything else anybody wants to say before we get to our vote?
This has been fun.
Yep, I agree.
You're a well-deserving Final Four. Really proud of all of you. This is a straightforward, traditional vote. So Hannah, you're up.
I'm voting someone out, correct? I'm not voting for someone to stay.
All right. Now we see if Rachel lives up to her word.
I don't have anything to say to Andy. Love him to death. With Rachel, you not voting this is how you lose the game.
I'll read the votes. First vote. Andy. Peter. One vote Andy, one vote Peter. Next vote. Andy. Last vote. The next member of our jury will be decided by a tie. So, Andy, Peter, you will not vote. Rachel and Hannah, you will vote one more time. Just so everyone knows, I did let them know, but just so everyone knows, past votes no longer break ties at Final Four, so they will re-vote. If there's no change, we'll talk about what happens next. But this is an opportunity to change your vote if you'd like. We'll re-vote one more time. Hannah, you're up.
I know Rachel is going to vote Peter. We already knew we were going to force a tie so that we could both show loyalty to our other partner and may the best Outlast contender win.
Good luck. Hope for you it's not fire.
First vote. Andy. last vote is Peter. So we do have a tie. Here's where deadlocked. And Rachel, you do have the opportunity to discuss live here in front. If you can come up with a unanimous decision, that person would become our next jury member.
I think we're good.
You're good. So Peter, Andy, what that means, you're going to head to a tiebreaker. We're going to get that set up. Peter, you will be competing in a race. No, I'm just kidding. It's obviously fire making. So we are going to set you up here. First to make a fire to break the rope. Keeps the spot in the final three. All right, you have some supplies in your crate, as even as we can possibly figure out with wood. You have the same amount of paper, some other things in there as well, but also anything that way is at your disposal. Yep. All right, for the second season in a row, we have fire making at Final Four. Peter, Andy, good luck. Person that burns through the rope earns a spot at the final three. Players ready? Go.
I genuinely don't know how to use this. Yeah.
Andy, heading into the woods, gathered some supplies. Peter has a spark, and this guy's getting a lot of spark. All right, in about 3 minutes, you will be getting matches. If you want to prepare for that, it's up to you. But in 3 minutes, you will be getting matches to build your fire. All right, 1 minute to matches if you want to prepare. 1 minute to matches. Matches in 3, 2, 1, there you go. Peter lights a match and it blows out by the wind. Peter's got some flame now that seems to be pretty healthy. Can he keep it alive? There's flames high enough to hit the rope now. Wind's causing it to blow a little everywhere. Just like that. Hot. Flames touching the rope. Rope is getting black. Rope's a little bit on fire. Andy's still fighting. Peter! All right, Peter, excellent job. Congrats, you've earned your spot in the final 3. Andy, sorry to say, your time has come. Please bring me your torch. Andy, the tribe, or the fire, has spoken. Time for you. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Andy. Go on, sorry this. Hannah, why don't you do?
Okay. Congratulations to you all on making the final 3. The jury anxiously awaits to hear your final plea. You should be so proud. It's not easy to get this far, but how does the jury perceive you, a floater or a star? One more challenge lies ahead before you complete your case. One more to join the jury, claiming dreaded 3rd place. How bad do you want it? We will see how much you do. Keep it all together to secure your spot at final 2.
All right. With that, we are heading out to Challenge Field.
Fire making, man. Just couldn't get it done. And I think I had a pretty good chance of winning if I had just done it. I mean, I made a lot of mistakes in this game, but I fought really hard to make up for them. Some luck, some happenstance, but you know, a hell of a lot of just bonding with people. I got all the way as close as one can get to the final 3 without actually getting there. So I still don't know what one of those final seats feels like, so maybe I don't have to hang it up just yet.
I can't fucking believe that I just won that. Literally this whole game, every time that we've had to make fire, I've been like, if you need someone to beat in Final 4 fire, me. So the fact that I did that, I feel really good about. I feel really bad about Rachel. I mean, in a final 3, like, it's always obviously going to be those 2, but I don't know how she's playing a relationship-based game, and that she has more of a relationship with Andy, but then has voted out Maya and Stephanie over me. I don't get it, and that's hard. Really excited to be here at the final 3, but I need to win because otherwise I'm fucked.
All right, final 3, come on in. Welcome. All right, final 3. For the final time, community is back up for grabs. Hannah, I'm gonna take it back. All right, the most important immunity of the season is now for grabs. Whoever wins this will decide who will sit next to them at the final 2 and face our jury. So this is the one to win. All right, I'll explain how it works. This is called Don't Drop the Ball. Put pressure on the side, and you'll bring it up. There's a ball on it. The ball drops, you're out. At different intervals of time, we'll add more pieces, making it longer, making it harder. If your pieces fall and or your ball falls, you're out. Last person standing wins. All right? round starts now. Please pick them up. And we get started. All right, this first one gives you a little feel of it. Pretty easy though, right? We're 1 minute in. Everybody's safe. You can put your balls down. Okay, you're gonna add your next two sections on the inside two. Yep, there you go. All right, grab your handles and lift. You got 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Grab your handle. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Well,
Go.
guess I was in.
And it's out. Make sure you check the back of the side. Don't put it there for me. Alright, we're 4 minutes in. You're good to place them down. Everybody's safe. Alright, add your next interior. A little more time. We'll give you like 8 seconds. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lift. Rachel drops, which means Peter has won. Final immunity. All right, Peter, come on over. You are our final individual immunity winner. You will make the decision on who goes to you, with you, the final tribal council between Rachel and Hannah. So we're going to give you some time at camp to do so.
I absolutely need this immunity win. We talked a little bit before the challenge, and it was just like, I mean, you know, it was just very clear. Hannah was going to take Rachel, and Rachel was going to take Hannah, and that was it. And my only shot was to win, which I did. And in a challenge that, honestly, I kind of think is kind of iconic, and very happy that I got to participate in. So I'm really very excited to sit in the final two. A week ago, I wasn't even supposed to play, and now here I am. I can't even believe it. I'm thrilled, beyond belief.
I'm feeling pretty bummed out that Peter won. I think there's a good chance that he takes me, and that's probably better for my game than if me or Rachel had won and taken each other.
Yeah, obviously Peter winning was the worst of the options because I think she would have had my back and I would have had hers.
I'm a little confused at Rachel's decision to put me through that. It kind of felt needless to me. She didn't want to sit with him at 2 anyway. So that kind of hurt a lot.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not trying to like bust your balls. I'm not going to say like we've been together since the beginning, like stick with me. Like we've had our loyalty problems and we did like 2 seconds ago.
Yeah.
But I think that if you go to the jury with her, then I think that's a harder win for you.
Sure.
because it's a jury of mostly her peers
Yeah, sure.
that she didn't screw over.
Sure.
Well, she did, I guess, at the end.
Yeah,
but
but not really.
yeah.
Sure.
And I think that they think that we got the game handed to us for the first half. That we won with them, and then we came and we won. Like, we started Merge without voting once.
Yeah.
And at least our stories are the same on that.
Yeah, true.
But against her, it's like it was handed to you.
Absolutely. The reason I would bring Rachel to the final two is because it would give me a shot to explain the relationship-based game that I played in relation to the one that she played.
The people on the jury are people that have been with Hannah their entire games, and they know how she played. They can respect it or not, but like, they know what she did the whole way. She barely has to even tell her story. And he has so many things that were behind the scenes that they don't even know.
You know, we were wet too strong, but she voted out Maya, and she voted out Stephanie, like me. And then she voted for me, who's been with her the longest, and literally since day one, we were like, yeah, we're on the same page.
I think that they all believe that the merge was just handed to us. We didn't even have to vote anybody until the merge, because we just kept winning, either by skill or by friendship. So she had a whole half a game where she was working, and it was just handed to him.
But if I took her, I would prove that I retained some semblance of that. Oh my god. Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, go talk to Hannah.
Yeah.
Wanna monopolize your time.
Like, I don't know what the end is.
Yeah.
The reason I would take Hannah is because we played very different games. She was on Nebby with me, and we connected there. We were tight with Jeff in the very beginning. We never went to tribal council as a group, so never really, tested anything.
Yeah, I mean, first off, I want to say, like, honestly, like, I think you should do whatever makes sense for your game. Like, if you feel like you would more likely, for whatever reason, like, win against Rachel, or rather, like, no hard feelings, I won't be upset. I mean, I'd rather, like, no, rather than, like, feel like I'm, like, blindsided.
Sure.
But if you change your mind at the last minute, that's fine, too. Sure. Like, I'm gonna be happy.
Sure.
And I'll, like, take both your pitches seriously and, like, consider both of you honestly. Like, I know we were like final two, but like, I will listen and take it all seriously. Yeah. Like, I'm not gonna just vote, like, for her, just.
They had a very easy decision to when they lost immunity challenges, to just vote out the POTA people, and that was a path to the merge that was a little more straightforward and a little more forthcoming than the one that I think I had.
Yeah. Right. So I guess the biggest thing I feel like is, and I don't understand this, is like, since my name like seemed to never come up, to me that just says that people don't perceive me as a threat, and just seems like somebody that everybody was like, oh, we'll just take her to the final. I don't understand that. I feel like I played it.
No, I do too. In addition, her merge game has been really good. Rachel brought her in, I think, pretty early into the Wetu group, and we used her as a number for a lot, and she was able to kind of escape scrutiny.
So I honestly just think the perception is you have a better chance against me.
The reason I would bring her, though, is because I'm not sure what she would claim as a move, or what relationship she would foreground as central to her game, besides Rachel, which is very clearly important to her success.
Think on it, relax, and honestly, no hard feelings. At this point, I'm I'm excited for either experience. Cool. I'm excited to experience either thing, because you're not going to experience being on the jury and being in it. Yeah. So either way, we're setting.
She wants to be on the jury, is what she's telling me. And I think you should put her there ASAP.
You know what? I think that's what I heard too.
Yeah, for sure.
I think it could go either way. I think that Peter has good relationships with both of us, and honestly has like worked with Rachel longer, and I've never even been in an alliance with him. However, so he could have taken her. However, I was the one who was rooting for him to stay all these last few times. Rachel wanted to vote him out multiple times, and I explicitly saved him. And furthermore, I think that for whatever reason, the jury sees Rachel as a bigger threat than me, or people in the game have always said that too. So I'm not sure why, but it seems like maybe he would be more likely to beat me.
Interesting. Sounds like your pitch was why you think you're bad, and my pitch was why I think you're good.
Interesting. Sounds like we
Wow.
flip-flop for each
God.
other. I mean, at the end of the day, I do care for both Peter and Rachel, so I would be happy with both of them, or I mean, either of them as winners, and obviously I want to win, but I will be just as happy going to the jury and voting for whichever one I see fit.
Yeah, same. I have no idea what any of them think. Because
I don't think they know your. I don't think they know your game. They missed most of it.
That's true. That's true.
I think I probably lost it from here, but I am very proud of my game and had an awesome time, and you know, I'm gonna fight to the end. I'm gonna push my piece, and he's all over the place with his decision making, so it could be anyone's game at this point.
All right, let's bring in our final three. All right, final three. Final three. Welcome to final regular tribal council. This will be pretty short and sweet. I'm first going to go to Hannah and Rachel. Hannah and Rachel, I'm just going to ask you kind of what your pitch was to Peter back at camp, why you should be taken to the final tribal council. Give us a little insight into what those conversations were like. Hannah, what did you talk about with Peter?
Yeah, my pitch was basically that no one has ever come to me and said that they've heard my name, and I, as a person to vote out, and to me that just says that nobody, I guess, saw me as a threat, maybe somebody to take as like a 0 vote finalist. That is not at all how I see my game, and I'm like, would love to like pitch to the jury on that. But if perception is reality, it just seems like people didn't see me as a threat.
Rachel, how about for you?
I think my two main points for that, most of this jury has seen how Hannah's game has been, and they know half of her story and have perceptions of it already and have been able to talk to each other about it. But your story is completely fresh, so you already have like a lot to make up when starting your speech. And I also think a lot of the jury think that we had it easy and that we got handed the merge. We won as a blue team the whole way through, and then as a green team we won the whole way through, which may or may not have been legitimate. I'm sure you guys all talked about that on the jury. And then it was just handed to us. So if you go versus Hannah, then you're starting with someone who had a full game, or if you go with me, then at least we both have that in common and we could start from here.
So Peter, don't reveal obviously who you're going to vote for, but take us through your thought process as you hear both of those pitches.
Yeah, totally. I mean, both Hannah and Rachel were people that from day one I liked very much and wanted to work with throughout the game. And so I feel, very connected with both of them. Obviously, I've spent a lot more time with Rachel. I've worked probably a lot more closely with Rachel than I have with Hannah.
Yeah, that's not in my
I'm sorry.
If I block you, will you vote for me?
Maybe. And so there's a lot of weight behind both of those things. They pitched to me their reasons, and what they said is about what they pitched. And there's just a lot to consider. I've been very upfront in these tribal councils about like struggles and mistakes that I've made. Whereas these two, I think, have played really strong, really like accurate and
Don't worry, I made a lot of mistakes.
forthright games. And so I think it's a tough decision, kind of no matter who I end up choosing.
Is there anything Hannah, Rachel, or Peter you need to say or you need to hear before you make the vote, Peter? And anything else you want to say?
Just, I think, do what's best for your game and respect it no matter what. I'm excited to see what happens.
Rachel?
Yeah, this has been a great time. I hope you picked me, but you know, do what you gotta do.
All right, with that, Peter, you will make the one vote. Yeah. For the last time, I will read the final elimination vote. So this person with the name in this box will be our final member of the jury. And the last member of our jury is Rachel. All right, Rachel, your tribe or Peter has spoken.
Thanks, Peter.
All right, time for you. Peter, Hannah, we're going to go take you away to kind of gather your thoughts, probably 5 minutes or so, not too much time, but start thinking about what you want to say to this jury. Give you a little bit of time. Jury, you're going to hang tight here. We'll bring it back in and we'll get settled for final tribal. But use this time to prepare yourself for the final battle. All right?
Great. Had such a good time. Obviously the rain wasn't ideal, but it's just a fun game. Like, I know people get emotional about it and stuff, but I just can't stop smiling. Like, I'm just having a good time. I know it was bad that we had to do another challenge for my game, but like, I like doing challenges. Sure, let's do one more. Yeah, I mean, it's just fun.
I think at the end of the day, they need to do what's right and strategic.
This game's great. You guys should come play.
I learned a lot of things about myself from this experience. I learned that I'm much stronger than I expected. Like, it may not, oh no, I'm getting choked up. Like, it may not appear it from all the challenge wins, but like in school, like sports, I was always picked last. I was always like in dance, like right now, like I'm not part of the team that like lifts the other dancers. I'm like lifted, and I've had to be like swapped out because like people didn't feel like I was strong enough to lift the other dancers. And I feel like I've just like proven to myself that like I am really strong and capable physically and mentally too. I have like so many points that I want to hit, and I think my biggest issue is going to be eloquent. And if any of the jurors are bitter, because I have seen I've made eye contact with a lot of jurors and they like have looked away or frowned at me, so I could imagine people just voting me out of spite because I did have a hand in every single vote, and that's part of my pitch. I've voted with the majority, so correctly, every single vote I've ever been a part of. I've known what the vote is going to be every time except once, and that time I still voted correctly based on my gut feeling. I feel like I proved myself as a competition beast, physically and mentally with the last puzzle challenge. And I found where I ended up with like 2 different special sort of secret advantages, and I never even had to use them because I was never in danger enough to need to use them. Similarly, Rachel said she would use her idols on me if she needed to. She never had to because I was never in danger.
I came into this game thinking I was going to play really strategically, and I think that kind of proved to be not the case. And so I'm going to pitch the strength of my social relationships and my connections with my tribes. I think I really was hopefully sort of central to the heart of that success. I surprised myself in that. I definitely painted myself into some corners, and I'm prepared to talk through those decisions. But at the end of the day, I really love all these people, and I had to make hard decisions to let a lot of them go. The game got really hard, it got really personal, and I got really emotional. I've never done anything like this before. I've been camping one time in my life. I had never made fire with flint before Thursday. I had never even, scraped it once. And I think, to come in here and to deal with all that, and to not have a mental breakdown would be kind of crazy. And after that night, last night was really sort of calming for me, and I think that this is kind of how I'll frame everything that I say. Is that just take deep breaths, trust in yourself, hold on, and know that nothing is ever over.
All right. Welcome, Final Two, to the final Tribal Council. You two have done what 18 others before you, including our 9 jurors and some folks here in the audience, could not do. Made it to the final 2 seats of Outlast. Congratulations. It's been a long, hard road. Rain, bugs, heat, a lot of running. Obviously, a lot of relationships you had to manage through. This game is no joke, right? It is tough, mentally draining, emotionally draining, in all the different ways. But now is the time to craft your story, to tell these 9 jurors why you deserve to be the Outlast champion for this year. Just a reminder of what you're playing for: $500 grand prize in cash in my pocket right here that I will hand to you. $500 donation to the charity of your choice, as well as a Todd Pop from Survivor China winner Todd Herzog, and obviously the title of Outlast 2023 champion. So this is how it's gonna work. We're gonna start with opening statements. You'll each have about 2 minutes to open Final Tribal. Then each juror is gonna be able to make a statement or ask a question, and then you'll have a 2-minute closing. So you will have an opportunity to address anything you weren't able to address at the end. All right, so Peter is the final immunity challenge winner. You can decide if you want to go first or second. It will be flipped on the closing statement.
I'll go second.
You'll go second. All right, Hannah, the floor is yours. You have about 2 minutes.
All right, well, first of all, I just want to say it was a pleasure playing with all of you, and I hope there are no hard feelings, and if there are, I'm happy to dish them out, because at the end of the day, I just want there to be positive vibes only, and would love to explain myself if there's any emotional damage I've caused to anybody. And second of all, I just hope that you vote for the person you want to represent our season, because no matter who wins, it's all of our season, and I just want people to be excited and be like, damn, I want to watch that, I want to be like that cast. So I just hope you vote with your heart, and if it's me, that's obviously what I'm going to pitch, but if it's Peter, I'll celebrate that too. So I feel like I deserve your vote, because as far as sort of in all those areas, Outwit, Outplay, and Outlast, I feel like I've really proven myself in all of them. As far as the social element, I feel like I developed bonds with everybody to the point that, to me at least, it seemed like I was never even in danger. And I honestly don't know if that was because I just wasn't seen as a threat and everyone wanted to take me to the end as a 0-vote finalist, which is totally possible. And if that is the case, I'd love to be able to explain why I think that's not the case. But I feel like, for me, it's I never had to scramble because I was never at the bottom. I was always able to maneuver myself to get into a good spot, whether that was taking a back seat and letting other people drive, or whether it was me deciding to make a move for myself. And so I did a mix. And I guess that's comparing to Peter's game, where he had to scramble more because he was at the bottom more. And so it's what kind of game do you respect? Someone who has to scramble, or someone who never had to scramble because they were always in control of the vote? For every vote, I knew I was in the majority for every single vote. Some of my votes didn't work out, for a certain idol play, but
About 10 more seconds.
But other than that, everything worked out that I planned, and I'm excited to speak more to all of you.
Great. Thank you, Hannah. Peter, you're up.
I just wanted to start by saying that I very much agree with what Hannah said about, I want you guys to choose who you feel, best represents what this experience is and what in totality Outlast has meant and means and should mean in the future. And if that's Hannah, great. That's me, perfect. But to start off, coming into this game, I really wanted to get to know people. I had never played an LRG before. I really didn't know the community at all, and so I was excited to get a chance and join this wonderful experience of a show that I've loved for a really long time. And so I came in excited to do all of that. I've been camping once in my life. I will be fully transparent about the fact that, you know, I was probably a little unprepared for how hard it would be in the elements to, you know, keep a level head and you know, really pull through. But I think I found something within myself, and I was able to summon up a lot of things that I really didn't even kind of know were inside me, and it's been really, you know, kind of life-changing for me to be here. And obviously that's not a reason for you guys to vote for me, but it's a sort of personal experience that has really mattered to me. I think I've played a really impactful social game. I feel like I got to know all of you really well, and I you know, really value a lot of our relationships. I definitely turned on people at inopportune times, and I am fully like ready to answer for those decisions and what that sort of meant and why I did so. But you know, every relationship I had with each of you was very genuine. A lot of vote outs I was genuinely like
10 more seconds.
upset about, and I own that, and I hope that comes through.
Great. All right, jury, now it is over to you. We're going to go in order, so Jeff, you are up first.
All right. Congratulations, first of all, both of you. I respect both your games a lot. You both challenge beasts, first timers, great competitors, and you're both blue. Amazing job out there. Hannah, what was your biggest move that helped get you to the final two?
I mean, I think the biggest decision, which is probably not the same as, might not be the same as a move, is finding allies that I really trusted and working with them as a pair, like with Rachel. We really made decisions together as a team and played off of each other. And I think because of that, we were able to work with different groups of people in different alliances. I know that's not one big move, but I think it's the biggest like decision that I made that got me here.
Okay. And Peter, what was your overall strategy in the game that got you here?
Yeah, so I came into this game kind of knowing that I wanted to sort of play kind of in the middle and like sort of hear what's going on and sort of make decisions like that. And I was lucky enough to find myself in that position, sort of, you know, both by chance and by my own doing. At the Nebi camp at the beginning of this tribe, you know, we had a lot of free time, and so we you know, had a lot of conversations about things, and I felt very like in the mix there. And then when we went to what was the thing? Batu? Sorry. You know, I tried to do the same thing.
All right. Thank you. Congratulations again.
All right, Matt, you're up.
You too. I'm really excited to see you both here. I'm really proud of you guys. Hannah, I think at the beginning we were both kind of heart players, and around merge I saw you kind of change your strategy and become kind of, I was like, oh, okay, she's using that brain in the strategy. Peter, you know, day one I called you a brain, and as I've seen you play, like you've really got a special place in my heart. So this is going to be a difficult vote for me. But this season we've been talking a lot about short term and long term. So I'd like you each to tell me a significant short term move and a significant long term move for you in this game. I'll do this. I'll have Peter give me short, and then you'll have time to think short, long, and then come back to think about long. Is that cool? Okay.
Love weaving in a theme. Thank you, Matthew.
My best short-term decision was actually sort of paradoxically voting with Brantley on the Stephanie vote, and I know that put me in a lot of hot water. But at that moment, I think it was important that I placed my flag in the ground and said, like, there are things that I'm unhappy with, and you know, it worked out that I got immunity shortly after that, but I was safe for a round.
Again, I don't know if this is exactly like one move, but this is more like a theme of short-term things. I would say being willing to, in the short term, like quickly change my strategy to go with the tides there were a few times that I felt like I wanted the vote to go a certain way and it wasn't going that way. For example, with the vote with like you and Meg, for example, I wanted Meg to stay and you to go, but Rachel wanted the reverse, and I felt like, well, I guess this is more of a long-term move, to be honest, in the way that I was preparing myself to show that I can be a really good ally. Like, I will work with you to make your life better and my life better, and in that way, there were times when there was a move that was better for Rachel, and she would say, okay, well, you tell me what to do, and I'll do it because I owe you one. So by being able to like give and take, I was able to prioritize what was important.
Cool. That works for me for short and long term.
Yeah.
Cool. Peter, for long term?
Yeah, I think in terms of like singular moves, I do think that your vote out was sort of pivotal to the way that my long-term game shaped out. Over at the Watu tribe, we quickly formed a 6, and we were like, if we can go to the merge and stay 6 strong, like we're gonna be great. Yeah. And thankfully that kind of happened. It actually set me on the course to be part of the majority for a lot of the post-merge. Obviously I was in trouble at certain points, and I'm not going to say that I wasn't, but to show that trust and that faith in the group at that time was, I think, ultimately really positive.
All right, thank you both.
First of all, congratulations, to both of you. Awesome games. You both did something that no one else here could do in making it to the final 2. I guess I'm curious from both of you, what do you think your biggest mistake in the game was, and how did you overcome that mistake?
Okay, cool. So my biggest mistake in the game was probably my most important move of the game, as I told Jeff. I think that decision put me in a lot of hot water, and it made a path to the end a little more reliant on immunity.
Yeah, I would say that after the Jacob vote and there was this miscommunication about who was voting for who, I just lost it and was having a mental breakdown, and I am fine with having a mental breakdown, but rather than stopping to talk to all parties involved, I made a snap decision and basically deteriorated the entire alliance I'd spent the beginning of the game working with, and obviously it worked out, and I'm glad that it happened with the way that it happened, because I've loved this journey, but probably looking back, that was an extremely risky move to literally just change on vibes. We both failed that challenge together, and then I was like, F all those people, I'm with you now, which is so dangerous. You could have just used me as a swing vote and then gotten rid of me. And so from that, I learned, actually get all sides of the story first.
Congratulations, final 2. You both started on day 1 together. I try to be a real open book. I probably overshared way too much in this game, but I'm curious, did you play this game authentically? Or are there elements of your Outlast persona that were made up, played up or down? Did you make tiny lies about your personal life? Anything that you want to share with us?
Do I want to start?
Let's go with Hannah first.
Yeah, I don't know if this is something that you're wondering about, but I want to address it. I feel like I'm a very emotional person, and I just want to officially say anytime, oh my gosh, I'm about to do it again. Anytime that I cried, it was true. It wasn't trying to get votes. It wasn't trying to manipulate somebody. Actually, as a perfect example, the morning when we woke up and I tried to flip all of blue back on yellow, that was not a fake out trying to get people not to vote. That was me thinking, no, these are my people, let me switch back. You shared some personal things and I just did not want to vote you out.
So for me, I think I would say that I did play an authentic game. Doesn't mean I didn't lie. I think the vote where you sent Chelsea home, I lied to you. I did. I said that we could do Stephanie, and I just threw out a name. Obviously that was a lie. And there are other instances where I would tell the minority, like, yeah, let's do this, and I didn't mean that at all. And that's true, and that's how I decided to swing that. As for the little itty bitty lies, for some reason on the first day, while we were in for the first activity that we did, while we were standing in line with, I was with Jeff and Hannah at that point, we talked about where we lived. I said it was from Somerville. I live in Cambridge. I was going to say close to each other, but I was like, I can't let them know that I live in Cambridge, but it's the same thing. So I don't know. I don't know what I was thinking. And after that, I was like, I'm not doing this anymore. And I've never lied about anything in my personal life or anything that I do or have said about who I am as a teenager. I don't know.
Well, congratulations to both of you. So my question is going to be a little bit different. So I'm going to point to a member of the jury, and I want you to tell me and the jury and everyone here who out of all these people drove that vote. So who is responsible for that person being on the jury? So I'll go in order. I would like just one name. So I think that even if it's a group, there's still a person that probably drove that. So Jeff.
Rachel.
What? Matt.
Me.
Rachel.
Oh. Chelsea.
Bartley.
Yep. Okay. Bartley. Stephanie? You don't have to say the same thing. Yeah. It's okay. Myself?
Rachel?
Rachel.
Okay. Maya.
Stephanie.
Rachel.
Okay. Stephanie.
Me.
Andy.
Me.
Rachel. Okay. All right. Thank you so much.
Hi guys. So we're a little over halfway. So because it's getting down to the wire, I just want to say be as specific as possible because this time's really important. So call out names, call out specifics because we gotta know them. So my question is a little broad, but I want to ask you both, what's a part of your game that you feel like none of us have seen that you want us to make sure you're highlighting and that we see it?
So one thing that I think was kind of going on behind the scenes within myself was sort of like a burgeoning, like, what am I here for and what am I doing here? And this kind of erupted and manifested in my game in a lot of ways, including trying to join Bartley. So probably the best example of this is last night. It was really cold. It was really wet. We were all feeling it. It was all bad. And I woke up. I was sleeping on the sleeping pad on our wonderful tarp, and the fire had been out, and I was shivering like so badly. And my first thought was like, oh my God, like what do I do? And it took a really long time for me to well, it didn't take a long time for me to get the fire started, but to get everything in order to put that together. I had to go over to the flashlight, find out where we had put all the wood, get all that. And so as I sat there tending to the fire for the rest of the night, I sort of was taking it into myself and sort of breathing in the experience and settling into the discomfort of that moment, of what that was, what that meant, and sort of feeling the strength rise in myself to do things and make decisions and be here and have the ability to vote people out, and look them in the eye afterwards. So yeah, I would say that there's a sort of personal development growth thing that's going behind each of the different moves that I've made.
Yeah. So for me, I would say that there were a lot of very small, thoughtful things that I did to try to help out my game. For example, every time we came to tribal, I made sure to sit in the back row so that I could see what the front people, if anybody in the front like were whispering, if it looked like somebody was gonna get something from their bag. And I tried to like sit next to the people I was working with for that boat, so I could like subtly like gesture and check in during the time we were allowed to, you know, communicate, not after. And like that was like one thoughtful thing that I like made sure to do every single tribal, so I would never, and so that I would never be the person in the front that people were pointing at. Similarly for challenges where people would drop out and go back to camp, I usually tried to drop out in the middle so that I was never in the minority. So if I dropped out first, I camp by myself. But if I won that immunity challenge, I would be alone there this whole time, and people could theoretically talk about me. So I tried to drop out in the middle. And the reason why I felt comfortable dropping out of certain challenges was because I never felt in danger, except for the day that I said I was terrified when we were asked how we felt that day. And even on the day that I was terrified, I still voted in the minority correctly. So even with my confusion, I still somehow was in the correct group of people. So just, there's other like little small examples like that, but like small calculated decisions.
Good job, guys. Hannah, I had a blast working with you after the merge. One thing I'm curious about is, how do you distinguish your game from Rachel's? You guys have been a pair this whole time, at least from my perspective. So if there's anything you want to let me know about that now, this is your time to do it.
Yeah, absolutely. And I appreciate you asking that, because I would guess that I was wondering if people felt like Rachel was like leading me along and I was just doing everything that she was doing, especially since there were definitely votes where I came back and I was literally just like, Rachel, you know what's going on. I don't, tell me what to do and I'll vote the way that you tell me, and I'm just going to trust you. And that was, for those votes, that was a game decision for me, to have trust in my ally, to like decide when am I going to push and when am I going to pull. So there were very different votes where one of us decided and the other person agreed, and we discussed it together. So, I mean, our games are exactly the same, I think, in that we trust each other 100%, but different in that, like, we made different moves, like, within our games.
Peter, the first question you asked me in this whole game was, what era are you in? And so you sitting here, final two, I know a lot about your game already because I worked with you nearly the entire game. So my question for you is, right now, what era are you in?
Oh, that's a good question. So hard. The wood vibes are kind of folklore. But I would say 1989, because I'm kind of, I think, in my prime right now. I feel like the end game didn't, you know, the numbers wise didn't go perfectly for me. But I hit a lot of things that I didn't know I could, and it really came out strong. And 1989 is, of course, Taylor Swift's biggest album, most important, just for context for everyone. And so I think that represents kind of where I'm at right now.
When no one comes into one of these games by accident. You don't sign up for 4 days in the woods, rain, bugs, and the rest of it. Meeting people, and then working with some and betraying others. And in the end, it's always about learning, about experience, and finding something within ourselves that we didn't know was there. We pit ourselves against other people and the elements and the game because there's a need we need to fill or find, and lessons we need to learn, whether we know it or not. So what I would like to know from both of you, in the soul searching which has started, but will be going on for some time, what's one thing you're going to walk away from here that you are proud of? And what's one thing that you know that you're going to have regrets about, and it's something you probably need to work on? We'll start with you.
So the one thing I learned, we kind of already discussed this, but I'll, share, obviously, is that, like, I came into this game thinking, like, oh, I'm going to be super into lying people and social manipulation. I'm, like, genuinely excited for that. And I felt like I obviously enjoyed winning challenges. I obviously enjoyed not being voted out, and I felt good when something I put in place went through, but like lying to people felt really bad, and not in a good way and not in a fun way, almost to the point that I'm like, would I even play a game like this again? Like almost like I would rather play some sort of like competition group thing, you know, because I just like, it didn't feel fun lying to people. Like it felt kind of bad. I think probably my like self-confidence. Like when I came into this game, like my number one goal was like not being voted out first, because I was like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna be on the outs, like I'm just not gonna vibe with people. And I mean, theoretically maybe that like helped somehow, like people saw me as like not confident, but regardless of how it was perceived, I would like to feel confident within myself, and I think that would have made my time here also more enjoyable, and in the future doing something like this or anything in life, just like feeling my self-worth be higher.
So the thing that I come out of this game most positively with is sort of the sense that like it's okay to be uncomfortable in the moment, and it's okay to feel physically like bad and mentally bad and emotionally bad, and that's all fine and good, and in that vein, I feel like in this game I came out feeling great and then like really dipped low, and that being brought low was a really good experience for me. My biggest regret of the game is probably you know, when it was raining, I think I was a pretty bitter baddie. I think I was really bringing energy down, just because I was like kind of within myself and brooding, and everyone was feeling it, and you know, I don't want to take that away from anyone, but I feel like my actions and my the way that I was carrying myself and all of that was very me specific, and I think this experience, which you know I've never had before, I've never lived in the rain before, has sort of taught me that, like, you know, it's what's happening inside is one thing. It's what you show people. That's
I first want to echo and hype up, since you said your self-confidence isn't great, that the Stephanie vote was all you, and it impacted your game a lot. It helped you get from 3 to 2. If Stephanie or Andy were in this seat, I'd be next to them. So that was huge for your game. I know your merge game well. Can you tell me something that you did pre-merge that you're proud of?
So long ago, like
sorry. I hate the recency bias in Survivor.
Yes.
Like, I don't want the last 5 minutes to determine who wins.
Yes.
Like, I want to know who's the best player of the whole game.
I think just honestly like trying to genuinely get to know everyone, so that all my options were open, and thus like I was able to gain information and be ready for the merge. Also just like I was able to like go to different groups and work with them. Like I feel like since my name like never came up, since at least people like had a good vibe with me, so that when we merged, it was like I was kind of like in a secret / not so secret alliance with like yellow folks, but then I had good vibes with all the blue folks, so it was sort of like easy to push and pull between them.
Peter, you said your biggest move was kind of like doing something that was off keel and then making up for it and coming back to the group. Can you explain why you did that and how it helped you, or why you didn't just stay with what was going?
Sure. So the reason I didn't stay with what was going is because, frankly, I felt on the bottom of it. You know, I felt like if we had gone to tribal in the pre-merge, like, you were going to be safe and it was going to be me. I don't, no one told me that. That was just the vibe, the read that I had. And so when you know, it came to the merge, and we were going to do 6 down, I was like, okay, we can do this because I want to make it to 6. That sounds good. But I was always kind of thinking about like, what would happen after that, because it would probably be me, and then in my head it was probably me, and then probably you, and then they would kind of figure it out from there. And I wanted to show that I was willing to do something to sort of break that up, because that walk wasn't sitting right for me, and I needed, if I was to make it further than 6, I felt like I needed to do something else.
All right, Peter, Hannah, you have one final chance to convince these folks to vote for you. Peter went second last time, so he goes first this time.
Yeah.
You're up. You have about 2 minutes.
So I think the game that I've played here in Outlast 2023 has sort of hit the peaks of a sort of social and a sort of physical game. I acknowledge setbacks in my intellectual game here, but I even think that there's a strong line of thought that carries through all of that as well. Coming in and wanting to know people and get to know people and work with that kind of allowed me to figure out like where I was with each of you, and sort of understand like how good those relationships were. And just because a relationship is good ultimately doesn't mean that it's going to carry you to the end. And so being willing to figure that out, and decide, okay, I need to do this now and I need to do that now, was very much so a part of it. In terms of like physical challenge performance, I won immunity only when I needed to, but I won when I needed to, and I did really well. I think in the endurance challenges, standing on a brick came into my life twice here. I had to do it once at the or in the merge thing, which I was really actually scared about, and then again as the immunity challenge, and I felt really good about that. If fire counts as a challenge, I surprised myself there, and I felt very lucky to go up against Andy in that, and was very surprised that I took it out. I mean, the whole game I was like, if you need someone to beat in Final Four fire, take me. And to pull it out was mind-blowing. And so I think that those things have sort of made me bubble up, I think, to the top of Outlast players.
All right, Hannah, you're up.
Yeah, so like one thing that I haven't talked about at all is just like how I was part of a bunch of like competition wins and finally did win 2 individual immunities at the end. And so I guess for me, if that is something that is important, or not important to you, but if that is something that might be something you might want to represent in your season, then that's something that I haven't mentioned before. And I also ended up finding through the journey 2 2 rewards, and I never even had to use them because I was always in a good spot, partially from like luck, like with the swap screw it was like the opposite for me, like I ended up in a place where it was pretty easy just to coast through and like win challenges and vote people out that we weren't aligned with. But then kind of like differently, I did win 2 challenges at the end, which did set me up for success, but I almost didn't need to win them. I needed to win them so that like I could bring Peter along, but I had other ways of getting there with other people. It may have been with a different 2, and also a different 2 that I would have lost, or somebody could have brought Rachel or Stephanie over me, but I had like maneuvering, so almost like everything that I did as far as like challenges and finding those rewards weren't necessary because I was always had a way to maneuver myself to the end, or so I thought, with luck. Yeah, I just want to thank you all for playing with me. I really appreciate it, and I haven't loved every second of it, but I'm glad we shared this experience.
Awesome. All right. Final 2, you've done everything you can do at this point. Now it is in the hands of our 9 jurors who are going to make a very important vote. So this is your time to vote for the player that you think deserves the title and will represent the season as this year's champion.
You guys both played a great game. Congratulations and good luck.
Peter! I am so proud of you. You were a significant part of tribes that performed really well. That pre-merge, you never even went to tribal council. And when you got to merge, you had social flexibility. You won immunity when you needed to do it. And you made moves that you saw would get you to the end. I am so proud of you, dude.
This actually surprises me that I'm writing this name down.
Alrighty. This is really hard because I still feel like I'm making my mind up. I like Hannah's game because I think the under the radar game is good. She was never looked at as a target. But then I really do like Peter's more fight. He had to fight a little bit more. But not really, because he went to no pre-merge tribals. Just kidding.
Coming into Final Tribal, I was really open. I had my mind made up on Rachel, and then she didn't make it, so I came in fully open to hearing what you guys had to say and making up my mind during Final Tribal Council, so.
Okay. So, while I love both of you guys dearly, neither of you were able to articulate how you managed to control this game. So, as a juror, what I'm going to go off of today is what you asked me to consider, both of you, at the beginning of Tribal Council today. And you said, who represents what Outlast 2023 was about? This game was a wild ride, and you took it all the way to the end, and I'm wicked proud of you.
All right. The last vote. You played a solid game, and you played me more than twice, so heck of a game. Congrats.
Love you, kid. Good work out there. This isn't bias. You definitely had a better game than him. Congratulations.
All right, for the very last time this season, I will go tally the votes. And I actually asked the production team to hand this to me, so I don't even know who has won.
Wow.
All right, be a surprise for me as well. Before I get to the votes, just very quickly, I want to thank our entire 2023 cast. You guys were amazing. You, those of you who are here and have stayed to watch, those who are not here with us today. Great group. Really loved having you all with us. Really fun, passionate people, and we're very lucky to have you part of the family. I also want to thank all the volunteers and everyone who helps make this thing run the way it does. They are a very special group of people, so thank you all that have volunteered to help. I also want everybody who has never played a live reality game before, can you raise your hand? Wow. I do want to. Our final two have never played a live game, and I think one thing that's incredible is the only jury member that's never played was Bartley. So you outlasted 8 jury members that have all played one of these games before. I also can reveal now that, this may be public knowledge, but Hannah was actually an alternate. She jumped in somewhat last minute. And Peter was an alternate, jumped in Monday. Okay. I'm gonna read the votes. There are 9 votes, which means it takes 5 to win. Remember, you want to see your name on these votes. These votes are for the winner of Outlast 2023. All right, here we go. I'm trying to not look at that. First vote, Peter. Next vote, Hannah. 1 vote each. Next vote, Peter.
Oh.
Next vote, Peter. 3 votes, Peter.
1 vote Hannah. Hannah. 3 votes Peter, 2 votes Hannah. Hannah. 3 votes Peter, 3 votes Hannah. Hannah. 4 votes Hannah, 3 votes Peter. Peter. 4 votes Hannah, 4 votes Peter, 1 vote less, which means for the second year in a row we have a winner by 1 vote. And the winner of Outlast 2023 is... Congratulations, Peter. Here is your $500. Peter, start thinking about the charity you would like to donate the other $500 to.